Have you ever walked through a European city and felt like you've stepped back in time, only to see someone zip by on an electric scooter while talking on the latest smartphone? It's a fascinating paradox, isn't it? A medieval street, centuries old, now humming with the quiet buzz of fiber internet. This is the European way, weaving the future into the fabric of the past. But why do they do it? Why not just tear down the old stuff and build shiny new skyscrapers like so many other places? Well, the answer is as complex and layered as the history of the continent itself. It's not just about preserving pretty old buildings. It's about identity, sustainability, and a deep-seated belief that the past has lessons for the future. Let's start with the most obvious reason: cultural identity. For Europeans, these ancient stones aren't just scenery. They're the story of who they are. Imagine living in a city where your local bakery has been operating in the same building since the 1600s. The cobblestones you walk on have been worn smooth by generations of your ancestors. This isn't just history in a museum, it's lived history. It connects people to their roots, giving them a tangible link to the triumphs, tragedies, and daily lives of those who came before. In a rapidly globalizing world, this sense of place, this unique local character, becomes incredibly valuable. It's what makes Paris feel like Paris and not like Dallas or Dubai. Protecting this heritage is about protecting a collective memory and a shared identity. But it's not all about feelings and nostalgia. There are some very practical, hard-headed reasons for this approach. Let's talk economics. Tourism is a massive industry in Europe. And what do tourists come to see? The Eiffel Tower, the Colosseum, the canals of Amsterdam. These historical landmarks are economic engines. They create jobs, support local businesses, and bring in billions of euros every year. Destroying that heritage would be like killing the golden goose. People travel across the world for that unique, authentic experience that you just can't replicate with a brand new building. So preserving history is, in a very real sense, a long-term investment. Then there's the philosophy of it all. In many European cultures, there's a prevailing mindset that you don't just own a building. You are its temporary caretaker. You have a responsibility to pass it on to the next generation in good condition. This stewardship mentality is often enshrined in law. Heritage protection laws across Europe are incredibly strict. You can't just decide to knock down a 300-year-old townhouse because you want a bigger garage. The process for even minor renovations on a historic building can be long and complicated, involving specialist architects and materials that match the original. It's a huge commitment. This leads us to a fascinating question. How do you live a 21st century life in a 17th century building? This is where European ingenuity really shines. It's a challenge that has spurred incredible innovation. The field of adaptive reuse is all about this. It's the art of taking an old, often abandoned structure and giving it a new purpose without destroying its character. Think of a Victoria near a factory transformed into trendy loft apartments, with its original brickwork and iron beams intact. Or a decommissioned church becoming a bookstore or a concert hall. This isn't just about putting new wine in old bottles. It's about a creative dialogue between the old and the new. Let's look at some amazing examples. In London, the Tate Modern, one of the world's most famous modern art galleries, is housed in the former Bankside Power Station. Its massive turbine hall is now an iconic exhibition space. In Hamburg, Germany, the Elbphilharmonie Concert Hall is a breathtaking glass structure built on top of an old brick warehouse. The new part doesn't mimic the old, it complements it, creating something entirely new and exciting. This approach also forces architects and engineers to be incredibly creative. How do you install high-speed internet, modern plumbing, and energy-efficient heating in a building with thick stone walls and protected historical features? You can't just drill holes wherever you want. This has led to the development of specialized techniques and technologies, things like super-thin insulation panels, wireless systems, and discrete, reversible installations. The challenge of preservation actually drives innovation. And there's a huge environmental benefit to this as well. Think about the carbon footprint of demolishing a building and constructing a new one. The amount of energy, materials, and waste involved is enormous. Renovating and reusing an existing structure are almost always the more sustainable option. The greenest building is the one that's already standing. By choosing renovation over demolition, Europe is not just preserving its history. It's also making a smart choice for the planet. It's a form of large-scale recycling. Of course, it's not a perfect system. The debate between heritage and development is constant. Residents might complain about the strict regulations that prevent them from upgrading their homes. Developers might argue that preservation stifles growth and makes housing more expensive. There's a constant tension between the need to preserve and the need to evolve. Finding the right balance is a challenge every city faces. For instance, housing affordability is a major issue in many historic European city centers. When the supply of new buildings is limited and demand is high, prices naturally go up. It's a difficult problem to solve. How do you provide affordable housing for a growing population while also protecting the historic urban landscape? Some cities experiment with building new, modern districts on the outskirts, while others focus on converting non-residential historic buildings into homes. There are no easy answers, but what's truly remarkable is the commitment to trying. The default position isn't to demolish, but to ask, how can we make this work for today? It's a fundamentally different starting point. It sees old buildings not as obstacles, but as assets with embodied energy, history, and character. So the next time you're wandering through a charming European alleyway and you see a satellite dish on a timber-framed house, don't see it as a contradiction. See it for what it is, a symbol of a deep-seated philosophy, a belief that the past and the future are not enemies, but partners. It's about building the future without erasing the past, creating cities that are not just functional and efficient, but also rich with soul, story, and a sense of timelessness. It's a lesson in how to innovate with respect and how to live a truly modern life, deeply connected to the layers of time. This respect for the past shapes everything, from the grandest public projects to the smallest details of daily life. It's a cultural value that is taught, debated, and most importantly, lived. It's the reason why Europe feels the way it does, a living museum that is also, simultaneously, a vibrant, forward-looking home for millions. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey through time and architecture interesting, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more explorations into the hidden stories that shape our world. See you in the next one.